How do you behave when no one is looking? How do you behave when there are hundreds of eyes on you? Are you conscious of how you look, what you say, and how you say it? For a spy, these things are of utmost importance. One wrong move and your cover is blown. You could be in danger. So spies are trained to be very particular about certain things. There are some spies who have gone so far as to win awards for their exceptional work. But even then, they cannot let their guard down. Here are some unique habits that only dangerous spies have. Know. 1. They speak in code. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to hide something from someone? Maybe your parents would ask you where you were going and what time you'd be back. And maybe you had plans to go to a party, but you weren't supposed to be out past a certain hour, so you tell them you're going to the movies instead. Spies do this all the time. Except the stakes are much higher. If a spy's cover is blown, lives may be at risk. It's not just small talk they avoid. Revealing too much information could compromise an entire mission. That's why spies are trained to speak in code. Even when they're not on the job, they may use coded language to communicate with each other. This helps to keep their conversations safe from prying ears. So next time you hear someone speaking in code, they may not be just trying to hide something from you. They could be protecting something much bigger than themselves. 2. They always have a backup plan. Spies are trained to think on their feet. They need to be able to come up with creative solutions to problems, often with very little notice. This means that they always have a backup plan. Or at least they're prepared to make one if things go south. Let us say a spy is on a mission to steal top-secret documents from a heavily guarded facility. They've got all the right equipment, and they've studied the layout of the building inside and out. But there's always the possibility that something will go wrong. Maybe the alarm system is triggered, or they run into a guard. In that case, the spy needs to be ready to improvise. They can't just sit there and hope for the best. They have to be proactive and come up with a plan B, maybe even a plan C. The best spies are always prepared for anything. 3. They pay attention to detail. Spies are trained to pay attention to every little detail. This is because they need to be able to spot patterns and connections that other people miss. This ability allows them to stay one step ahead of the enemy. They are also less likely to be caught if they are not paying attention. A good example of this is the time a team of Israeli spies stole an Iranian nuclear blueprint. They were able to do this by paying attention to the details and noticing that the Iranian scientists were using outdated equipment. They were able to get close enough to take pictures of the blueprints without being detected. 4. They are excellent storytellers. Spies have to be careful about what they say. They can't just go around telling everyone they meet about their exciting adventures. People might start to get suspicious if they hear too much about a person's dangerous missions. Spies are trained to be excellent storytellers. They know how to make their missions sound mundane and boring to the average person. This way, they are less likely to arouse suspicion. They might say they work in sales or marketing, for example, instead of admitting that they're spies. This is called a cover story. Spies also use cover stories to protect their real identities. They may use false names and aliases to throw off would-be pursuers. They may also say they are married with kids in order to make themselves seem less suspicious. No. 5. They never give out personal details. Whether you're chatting with friends or meeting someone new, we all like to share a little bit about ourselves. We might talk about our hobbies or where we're from. But spies are trained to never give out any personal details. This is for obvious reasons. If you're a spy and you let slip that you live in a small town, that could compromise your safety. It's better to be evasive and say you don't remember or you don't want to talk about it. Spies also avoid talking about their families. They may even go so far as to create false identities for their loved ones in case they are ever captured. Spies know that the enemy will try to use any information they can get to break them. That's why it's important to be careful about what you share. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and comment below. We'd love to hear what you think. Subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching.